Hi, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread. I am here with the King Quilter II Elite from Sewing Machines Plus, and I'm getting ready to stitch out a panel, and I was just going to take you along and show you what I'm doing. If you're thinking about getting a long arm, I've got another great reason why you would want one. I've got 3 panels on this frame, all on the same backing. Now you want to choose panels that are all going to need the same thread, but I love it. I've got 2 panels from Fig Tree and Company and this adorable little washroom panel from J. Recker Frisch, one of my favorite designers, and it's a snowman trying to hang laundry in the breeze. And I just think it's absolutely adorable, and I can't wait to put it in my laundry room this coming season. I just made a backing that was large enough for all 3 panels. I'm using the same batting in them, and I'm just stitching them all at the same time. Now, the 2 other panels are being custom quilted because I'm using different cross-hatching designs on those. Those are going to be cut apart into different snack mats and a little set of table runners. This one with the snowman is just going to be stitched like a regular quilt. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. The first thing I want to do is choose a design. Right here at the File tab, there is the star that says Design. I'm going to tap that. And the one I'm using is called Kristen's Champagne Bubbles. And I'm going to double tap that and bring it in. You can see over here, this is a pretty big design. I got this from Urban Elements, and I just love it. I thought it looked like soap suds. I think it's a perfect little pantograph to use on this particular quilt. The design is 15.82 and the height is 15. I want to resize that. I'm going to go into the Modify tab. Let me get my little pen so I get my big fat finger out of the way. And there is Resize right there. I'm going to tap that. I'm going to touch the lock. And what that does is it gives you a purple line vertically and an aqua line horizontally, so it's going to constrain proportions. Then down here at the bottom, we have the size is 15.82. I'm going to touch this and I'm going to hit clear and I'm going to make it 6.0 and enter, and then it goes down real small. Now I'm going to unlock it. Now I want to tell the ProStitcher exactly where to stitch that design. I need to create an area. I'm going to move the head of the machine all the way to the back left corner, just outside of my stitching area, and I'm going to touch area and to corner, and you get it ding. Now I'm going to move it all the way toward me in the bottom right. What I do is I'll touch it as far as it will go, back it up just a little bit, so that'll work right there. And again, I'm going to touch to corner. There's my second ding. The area I marked is 23.12 by 12.26. I'm going to tap the 12.26 and clear it. And I'm going to put 43, which is just a little bit longer than the actual design on the panel, and I'm going to touch enter. Now I'm going to hit refresh, which is the little house down at the bottom, and I can see my entire quilt length right there. Now I want to fill the quilt with all of my little sudsy bubbles. I'm going to touch repeat. Here in the repeat, we make sure repeat basic is on, and there's a button right here that says fill. I don't have to tell it anything. I'm just going to touch fill. And there it goes. It filled it almost. It's got a real good, that size of 6 is a good size to fill everything that I want. But I need to close up this gap. I'm going to make sure zoom is on, and I'm going to make a box, and it's going to get real big so that I can see the gap between the rows. That looks like a little tunnel, and I don't want that. Now here on gap, I'm going to make sure I'm on vertical gap. We have horizontal and vertical. On gap, I'm just going to hit the minus sign, and I'm going to keep holding it until it gets to where My bubbles are almost touching, maybe a little bit farther apart there. That looks pretty good. That looks real good, just like that. I'm just gonna touch select to get out of zoom and refresh. There we go. Now I do need some additional vertical repeats. It's on 7 right now. I'm gonna hit the plus sign for another one. I still have some areas at the top and bottom that are not filled. I'm gonna touch one more. There we go. That looks real good. Now it's all completely filled. And now I wanna come over to modify, and I'm gonna touch crop. And over here on the side, I wanna crop the outside. And I've got a lot of starts and stops around here. I want those to be smooth, so I'm gonna tap edges. Now that you're at this point and you really don't need to make any more changes, you're very happy with the design, now you want to do what is called a baseline, and the baseline button is right over here, and I'm going to touch that. And what that does is it freezes everything that you've already done up to this point, so that from here on out, all the changes that you make are going to be made from here in the computer's brain, not all of the changes that you made earlier by resizing and closing gaps and doing all of that. You need to do that because if you don't, your software will not be able to do the drag and drop when you are ready to advance your quilt. It'll always want to go back to the start, and it may bump into the rail in the back or the front. So baselining is extremely important, and once you do it, it will gray out like that. All right, and then now I want to save this. So I'm going to come up to File and Save, and I'm just going to save selected. I want to change this down here, so I'm going to tap down here at the bottom. You've got a whole bunch of title that comes in from whatever was on the design when you bought it. You can just tap clear, and then you can name it whatever you want. So I'm gonna call it Bubbles, and then space and Snowmen. There's a couple of them out there. Snowman is fine. And I'm gonna tell it save. There we go. That's it. That was so simple. The thing with ProStitcher is it has a set of steps that need to be followed. And once you get those steps down in the right order, this is just super simple. I'm gonna back up here. I'm gonna bring the head of my machine over to the start point. You don't have to do that. The ProStitcher will do it for you. I'm gonna tap the ProStitcher tab. Now, I've got the stitch on, start and stop tie-offs are on, and pull-up is on. It looks like it's ready to go. I'm going to hold on to the end of my thread over here, my top thread, and I'm gonna tap run. And you get some settings notifications, and that wants you to make sure that your needle is up. I'm gonna tell it proceed, and you will hear the machine take a single stitch to pull up the bobbin thread. It actually moved because I did not have the head in the right place. So I'm going to take my top thread and swipe it underneath and pull my bobbin thread up, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to hit resume, and it does the little tie-in. One thing I do like to do, I'm going to tap pause. And when you tap pause, and you come up to the screen, then you have the choices to resume again and a needle up check. But what I like to do is to come around to the back side over here, and I want to reach under there now that it's stitched a little bit, and I want to make sure that my tension feels right. And that even feels really good. I think we're good. And I'm just going to tap resume. Perfect little suds and bubbles. I love that the thread is just a little bit darker than the back of the quilt. You're really going to be able to see the quilting. I love it. Look how smooth and pretty that is. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're interested in checking out the King Quilter II Elite from Sewing Machines Plus, I've got a link to it below, and I think you're really gonna love it. This is the 10-foot frame that comes with the machine, and I am using ProStitcher Premium. However, you can do what I am doing in ProStitcher Lite as well. If you don't have a lot of space, check out the King Quilter 16. They've got a 5-foot frame for that, and it uses ProStitcher Lite. You're gonna love it. All right, we'll talk to you soon. You guys go sew something. Bye.